In this problem, we're given a function h, which is a function of t, where h is the height in meters of an object, and the input variable t is time, which is measured in seconds, since the object was launched. We are to interpret the notation f of 10 equals 16 and f inverse of 10 equals 16. So when I explain this, I like to copy the original notation that h is equal to f of t, and note that one way you can think of this is if you were to reverse the order in which this was written, meaning rather than thinking of it as f of 10 equals 16, you could think of it as that 16 is equal to f of 10. And if I did that and I lined it up with the given information, then it would be more clear that in this problem that it's the 10 that is the input variable. In fact, 10 is in the parentheses here, and the letter t is in the parentheses here, so that in itself says that t is 10, and in the meaning of our story, the variable t is time in seconds. So that means t being 10 means we're talking about 10 seconds after the object was launched. Then, lining things up, the 16 lines up with the output variable h. So we have that h is 16, and if you go back to the story, h represents the height of the object in meters. So that means 10 seconds after this object was launched, the height of the object was 16 meters above the ground. Now the next part is very similar, except for they use inverse notation here. So before I can even start, one way I can think of the problem is I can change the question, which utilizes the inverse function, and change it into what was given originally in the story, which was the original function f. So to do this, I only need to know that the relationship between a function and its inverse is that the inputs and outputs get switched, meaning that since 10 is the input in f inverse, then 10 would be the output with regards to the original function f, and since 16 is in the output position relative to f inverse, then 16 must be the input to the original function f of x. So now having done that, I can explain this notation much like I did the previous example, because they both now involve the original function f. So doing that, let me take f of 16 equals 10 and write it in reverse order. 10 is equal to f of 16. And I can line things up again. That means that it's the variable t that's 16, and it has the same meaning because we're talking about f. So this is the amount of time in seconds after the ball was launched. And the output here is capital H, which is taking on the value of 10. And the meaning is the same, again, because we're talking about f. It is the number of meters above the ground. So 16 seconds after the ball was launched, the height of the object was 10 meters.